I'm Sandy Lee. I'm from EO Indonesia, and you're watching EOtv.
Welcome to EOtv. I'm Andrea Collins.
I'm Randall Mercer. This is your weekly Entrepreneurs Organization webcast.
And Randall, we both know that in business, the bottom line is profit.
Absolutely.
So today, we're going to focus on profitability in the downturn because let's face it, stepping forward doesn't always mean you're making progress.
And then we'll get into how to make your business more attractive to investors. And Andrea, I could probably learn a few things here.
In finding investors?
Just being more attractive.
Let's just get started.
Okay.
If you're feeling the pinch of doing business these days, you're probably looking to get out of unprofitable ventures. But where do you cut your activities? A recent McKinsey quarterly article by David Court tells us how to start. Reprioritize your geographies. No matter how large or small your business, the chances are that you're doing better in some locations than others. Now's the time to build your presence where you have higher growth rates and less competition while pulling out of unprofitable territory. Reevaluate your consumer segments. Consumers have altered their buying habits. So, do the same segments you used to target still exist? Are your products and prices still aligned with their needs? Reevaluate your target demographics to understand if you need to shift your value proposition. Re-examine your business-to-business relationships. Larger corporate customers, suppliers, and distributors are all feeling the squeeze. Is it costing you more to sell or to work with some of these companies? Your opportunities and risks have probably changed and should be examined on a company-by-company basis. Reallocate your marketing. This is a gamble, but it can be a low-cost one. While marketing is still anything but an exact science, you can save money by migrating your messaging to low-cost channels such as the web, social media, and mobile devices. Redraw your sales functions. Almost any sales process has inefficiencies. Have an honest conversation with your sales staff about what works and what doesn't, and cut the fat.
In this tip of the week, Jack Stack, entrepreneur and author of The Great Game of Work, shares the value of building strong relationships for good and bad times in your business.
It's taken me a long time to realize that probably the most effective tool in any types of negotiations is the whole idea of building relationships, relationship building. I think relationship building in our company is probably one of the four competencies in terms of leadership, and it's probably the one that we probably stress the most. Relationship buildings in most situations can get you over some of the toughest times, some of the toughest negotiations, and some of the times when you get into the most difficult situations, you base the final analysis in terms of the relationships that you build. You'll find that on a day-to-day basis as you're dealing with your associates. It works extraordinarily well with your suppliers and your customers, and it really goes a long way if you get into any trouble in terms of your investors and your shareholders. So don't forget, when you analyze, when you look at performance inside of your organization, are you building relationships? Are your associates building relationships? How would you grade yourself in terms of being a relationship builder inside of your organization? Remember, relationship building is one of the significant core competencies of leadership, and it's not analyzed, and it really needs to go to the head of the list. And that's my tip of the week, and my name is Jack Stack.
We found another great McKinsey piece for you. This one's from Lowell Bryan and Diana Farrell. The authors talk about what to be prepared for as you navigate your business through this uncertain time. The changing role of government. Many countries' governments will get involved in a variety of industries to an extent few ever imagined. The financial sector is your prime example here, but you should brace for increased tax rates and regulations. How do you strengthen your position? Well, remember that with government involvement comes your chance to establish public-private partnerships and be part of the regulation and standards conversation. Deleveraging. It's no secret that debt fueled many companies' growth these past few years, but those days appear to be over. So you'll need to revise your investors' expectations for profitability, growth, and return. This is your opportunity to put your business on more stable footing in a climate where investors are searching for stability, reducing your development and production cycles. It's tough to find capital right now, and businesses with longer times to market are feeling the heat. Wherever possible, reduce your production time in order to get to market faster. You won't have the luxury of operating in the red for very long if you're running on outside capital.
Jeff Burton of EO Winnipeg and president of BW Imaging shares how a forum retreat gave him the confidence to radically change his business model. Are you leveraging your forum?
We were going down about 4 years ago or 5 years ago to St. Louis for a forum retreat, and it was organized by International, and there was 4 or 5, or I think 8 or 9 forum groups all meeting in Kansas City. At that time, my business was going through a real transition, and I didn't know what to do. We were in electronic pre-press, which was in the printing industry, and that was really changing, and I had to become a printer. And as I was leaving, my father-in-law gave me a clip out of the paper, and a local printer was going out of business, and they were selling all their printing stuff through receivership. And because I was with my forum group, I had literally found this out, I'm going to say like 2 or 3 hours before I left. I had the opportunity of going down in a motorhome with my forum group and having the opportunity to kick this idea around with my forum group. And when I got back to the city 3 or 4 days later, I walked into the receiver's office, and I don't think he'd cut a deal so fast in his whole life that significantly changed my business from being who I was to what I am today. I mean, I've grown since that point, but that was probably a radical change for me at the time. And it was through being with EO that gave me the confidence to make that big change. And basically I was changing from people that I used to do work for to now competing with those people for the work that I was doing. And it was a radical change for my business. And I think because of EO, it made the transition smoother, and the support was great.
Thanks to Jeff Burton and Jack Stack, as always.
We'll see you next time.
And remember, the key to successful leadership is influence, not authority.
We'll see you next time.